let's talk about birthday parties in the now normal. For those of you that know me, Jay, you can go ahead and click to slide 6 if you want it. All right, so I wanted to just do this at a real high level point of view, because we're gonna do this high level piece. We have a virtual clinic at the beginning of August, and then we'll have a birthday conference in September. I'll show you all those dates and stuff at the end. But as we take a really high level point of view, JB, if you'll just click, I want to talk to you today a little bit about products, because in the now normal, we've had to, I think you'll agree, and I would be interested, maybe raise your hand if you've adjusted your packaging, lowered attendance. Like, we've seen all kinds of things go on. And the great news is that your products as they were before should be more relevant now. We have a client who told us literally that they had projected $10,000 worth of birthday sales in the month of May, and they had 4 times that amount. And so we really do see that kids' birthday parties are coming back together. I got to tell you guys, I'm out here in Vegas. I've been here since Saturday. My word, the party is on. And so I just think it's so relevant that we're talking about this at this time. We're going to talk about people, and that's who's putting parties on, who do you need a host with, what kind of person do we need with an adult party, for instance? Do we even need anybody with a teen party, that sort of thing? My favorite thing to talk about, as JB's popped up there, are processes. I think great processes to sell parties, to reach back to people you've partied with. If you've got a list, if your kids bowl free or kids skate free, you've got all kinds of things at your fingertips that ought to be helping you do a great reach effort to invite people to come into your home. I know you're busy right now. Like everything we've been hearing on the show floor, people are just barely keeping up. They don't have enough staff. But we got to take advantage of this opportunity. And if you could start developing the habits of reach and inviting business to come in instead of just transactionally taking the business that's calling in, oh my gosh, you're going to be ready. And when things calm down a little bit, you might not have that dip that you would have had. And then finally, the party experience is something that's got to be memorable, right? It's got to be something that they're going to talk about from now on. Thank you, Jay. You're right on it. So I do want to talk, if you'll click there, I want to talk about products for everyone, right? So kid parties, we'll call those youth, and those would be parties that will be up to age 12, and just depending on your demographic and your attractions, maybe you can start at 1, 2, or 3 years old. There's a big survey done a long time ago that said that the average age of a person who liked to have an out-of-home birthday party was an 8-year-old little boy. I think that's an interesting piece of information. In the 2-day conference, we'll dig real deep into products, and so that our virtual clinics are, I use the wrong word there. In our 2-day conference, we will take your products. We will do like a workshop around your products, and you'll go away from there revamped if you feel like you need to. Today, I'll just kind of take a high look at the simple things that could be done now. And so I think we always look at youth, and we don't do enough work on teen parties. And sometimes we don't even address adult parties. And I know adult parties can be much more customized, but it may behoove you to put together a package or a product that's real adult birthday party focused. So on the next slide, I just want to kind of take it that high level view of the youth parties. So Jay, if you'll click to that next slide. Oh, I'm looking at my computer and thinking, click Jay, but I have to look at my phone. There you go. So birthdays for kiddos 1 to 12. So I don't want to talk a ton about COVID, but what we did see that worked really well is people downsized their numbers. And so you might consider, if you were doing 10 or more in the past, you might consider a 6 or 8 person party. Now, here's the thing I want to tell you. I don't think you ought to make it cheaper than if you were having an 8 or 10 and you downsize it to 6 or 8, I think you maybe ought to leave your prices alone. The big value with this age group is interaction, having food, having gameplay, utilizing attractions, and having a host is essential for this age group. I do not think it's wise to not have a party host for this age group. You guys have experienced all of these things where people come and hang out, right? I've had mothers say, "Where was my host?" And they booked a non-hosted event. It is not worth it. And the thing is, and I know labor is a big concern, but let's say a party host. Let's just go crazy and say a party host costs $20 an hour. Well, if that's if that's a 10-person party, because I can do the math easier, that's $4 more per person on that package. Now, those of you who know me well know I'm not a proponent of doing pricing by the person, because we need a certain level of revenue to cover a host and to cover the attractions and to cover the food and that sort of thing. And so I think that whatever your base price is, your base price is your base price is your base price. And then you can do add-ons for everyone above if your minimums are 6, 8, or 10. Oh, and I just use a word I hate to use. I don't like you to use the word minimum, because when you charge that base package price, what you really mean is this is what it costs for up to 6, up to 8, up to 10. You don't care if they bring 4. They just need to pay that base price. That's the other reason I'm much more motivated to charge a group package base price with add-ons. And that's not new. That's not a new concept. And I especially don't think that it's a changed concept as we come out of COVID. Every article that I read, every blog that I've checked out, especially during this particular time, as I was watching about how people were handling parties and stuff, the value that little ones have is that they get to be there with their friends. The social and emotional sharing of a birthday party experience is the highest priority. So when you're selling it, when you're packaging it, I love this picture on this slide, because it says, "Look how happy my child is. Come have your birthday party here, and we're going to take great care of you." As we move up and look at the teen population, cool kids need different things. So Jeff will flip to that next slide about birthdays for teens. I like to call it a VIT party, right? A very important teen. And I think that that's a birthday experience. I also think that 6 happens to be a very decent size. The value when you're putting together a packaging birthday party product for teens, in my humble opinion, is that it would be all inclusive. The other thing that's interesting is that these are big kids, because this group is 13 and up. And I think you could do a start time of 6 or 7 p.m. I never want to start much later. In my bowling experience in the past, is we didn't get on a wait typically until after 7 o'clock. And so that's still a really good time for teens, and especially 13-year-olds. They don't need to be out real late or anything like that. But I also don't want them taking up a prime spot on Saturdays where I have all my very important little people parties. I don't think that, you have to have a host with the cool kids, but I think you have to have a server. And so in that instance, a server could handle 2 or 3 VIT parties at a single time. And I'd probably build out my schedule so that, I have 4 time slots at 6 o'clock or 4 time slots at 7 o'clock. And I think we can get a real premium price on this. If you have those boutique areas with simulators or bowling, things like that, you can also privatize it. The 16-year-old age group loves the idea that they get something exclusive. So when you're looking at building products for this age group, you're going to want to use words like inclusive, all inclusive. Um, uh, oh shoot, I lost it. Oh my gosh, what's a great word for private that starts with the E? Exclusive. There it is. I totally lost my mind there. So exclusive, that it's all inclusive. I love how those words rhyme. That might look good on Danny. Do you have a marketing piece forming in your mind? I can see it now. But again, I think these are cool kids. I don't think that they need a host to do any interactive games or anything like that. I do think they need a server. They need a point person. And you know what? Their parents may or may not be with them. And so that's an interesting opportunity there. And then finally, from a product point of view, when you look at adults, like I said, so if you'll go into the adult, oh, you are, golly, it's me that's not clicking on my own computer. The adult party, absolutely everybody likes to celebrate their birthday. My birthday's in May. I had a whole month of celebration, and I don't know if we do a good enough job in the Family Entertainment Center market making sure that birthdays, it's a perfect time for an adult to be a kid again, even. And whether you decide to put a product or a package together or customize a birthday party, I think it's valuable to market and to talk about parties. I do think that the idea of providing an adult birthday party package with food and drink and activities, I think it's probably a great, easy way to have something to sell that just about anybody in your venue could sell. Thank you, Jay. If you'll move to the next slide. So this is always a debate, at least we've had Trainertainment for 16 years. And this has always been a debate. Those operators that are very labor focused are always really reluctant to have a party champion and our party host. And the thing that can happen is, like, if you'll click there, the thing that happens when you have a birthday champion is somebody owns the program. And it could honestly be the difference between an $80,000 a year birthday party program or a $500,000 piece of business. And I think that every operator would agree that if they begin to look at the value of their birthday party program and what the opportunity is to grow it if somebody champions it, I think you can make different decisions. And I think you can make a good decision about having somebody that owns a party program. Oftentimes people will say, well, when would these people work? Well, they got to work the weekends, right? And I think a Wednesday through Monday schedule with, even a Thursday through Monday schedule with the Tuesday, Wednesday off is an ideal schedule for a party champion. And I will tell you this, here's why. Most of your parties are going to be held on the weekend or Fridays. Monday happens to be the biggest day for people to call in and try to book a birthday party. And then obviously on Thursdays and Fridays, we need to be there prepping and making sure the party program's going to be right. So I think that if you decided you wanted to really expand your birthday party program, one thing that you must do is get somebody to be in charge of the program. And then I would have you consider how valuable the party program is when you think about birthdays as marketing. We have one family that brings one child in for their birthday, and they bring 6, 8, or 10 of their friends who also have a birthday in the next year. We can't pay for enough marketing that gives us the kind of exposure that a big birthday party program gives us. So I hope you agree with that. All right, on the next slide, once you have the birthday party champion and somebody owning the party program, then you need party hosts, and you need a process to sell your parties. And you can go to Express Training. Many of you that are on this call own our birthday book. I see that. Many of you have requested, and I've actually sent you the birthday party, the BDSQF, the birthday sales qualification process. Because here's what happens when you pick up the phone and somebody says, "Hey, I want to book a birthday party," and it's just a transaction, and you take their order and get their deposit and that sort of thing. That can work, but that's a transactional sell. And most of the time, we have friendly people who are telling people about our parties. And when you get a great process put in place where you're selling and walking through a connect, qualify, present, and close process, your birthday party average, I promise it's going to go up. I wish I had more than just anecdotal information about how much your party programs can improve, but we work with people that over time their party average improved $50, $60, $70, $80. Can you imagine? They were booking more events and they were improving their party average. And so it's a big deal. I would love for people to raise their hand on here if you already use the birthday sales qualification process. And or you know what, don't even raise your hand. Just type in the chat box, I use the birthday party sales qualification program, BDSQF, if you want to do it for short. Jay, can you tell me? Raise hand. No, I didn't mean to raise my hand, Jay. I'm sorry. I was trying to look at chat. I cannot. Christy, I love you. I love your answer, Christy. Christy says, kind of, and so I bet you kind of get some good results. Right, Jenny? I know, y'all. You have this process that will help you 1,000 times over. I know you're not open yet, and but we're going to get there for sure. So, and then finally, I want to go to you guys. And Jay, I don't know. Can you promote these guys to panelists? Because what I'd like to do here, if you can just go to the next screen, I want to do an idea share. Wonderful, Angela. I see that y'all are using it. And Carissa, you said we used to, but you need to get back to using it. It's interesting because things can just slide. And I think because of COVID and because we just got out of the routine of what we were doing and people weren't booking parties and we were just trying to make accommodations in any way we can. I think now is the time to kind of return to, okay, let's get sharper. Let's get tighter. Let's work on our systems and let's get better. One of my favorite clients, the way they got real good at their center, they were in our sales coaching program, and they got so good at the sales process because they had Wednesday role play. And so Wednesday afternoon, they marked it on their calendars and they did role play Wednesday and they role played with each other. the sales qualification process with birthdays. It is so easy to get good at that, guys. It really is. And you need to know it backwards and forwards so that you're not having to think about it. You're having a real conversation. You're leaned in. You're very interested in that parent. The best mindset that you can be in is to pretend as if you're booking your niece's or your nephew's birthday or your best friend's little girl's birthday, because then you'll be in the right frame of mind. It might be the 80th call you've gotten this week, but if you'll get your mindset in that frame of mind that you're helping your best friend, you'll show up in a great way. But you got to learn the sales qualification process in and out, backwards and forwards. And we have a clinic, a virtual clinic coming up where you'll be kind of in a workshop format. You'll be able to get yours done. We'll do that kind of role playing and stuff like that at the birthday conference in September as well. I've asked Jay to bring you guys all in here because I want you to be able to talk, and I want you to be able to participate, because I know things are going on that I don't even know about, because we're all just kind of coming back into the world, right? And so when you think about making your parties pop, what are you doing today to enhance the birthday experience in a post-COVID era? Who would jump in there and give us some feedback about what are you doing different, new, old? What's working, what's not working? What are some ideas that you all could share? And you can raise your hand, or I think, Jay, can they just unmute themselves and talk?
Yeah, they can unmute themselves.
Perfect. So I can voluntold you. Hi, Violet. I did see you at Bowl Expo last week. I knew I would see some people I saw. Violet, are you? I'm gonna pick on you. Are you doing anything special, different? Do you have an idea that you could share that make parties pop at your center? Oh, she may not be able to unmute. There you are.
There, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, we're not really doing anything different. We're just hitting it harder, if that makes any sense.
Well, it does. Can you tell us about what goes on in your parties? Like, are your party hosts playing games?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. We play games. We have a balloon blaster game that we also pull that out and are using that. Yeah.
Can you describe what the balloon blaster is?
It is two stations, pumping stations, and you put a balloon on each station, and then you'll have two kids that will compete against each other to pump up their balloons and bust them the quickest.
How fun.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. So we have incorporated that into our parties. And cool. We now have spin zone bumper cars. So, the kids are all excited about getting done bowling so they can go and ride the bumper cars.
Oh, that's fun. That's great fun. That's great fun.
Yes.
Thank you. Angela, you can you talk? Are you able to talk? You typed in the chat box there. I'm so sorry, Jay. I'm doing a terrible job. Oh, not at this time. Okay. So what she said is that she's upselling her birthday parties and sell the most expensive package with add-on items. So that's fantastic. So that makes parties pop financially. That's wonderful. Is there anybody here that raise your hand if your party hosts, the ones that are doing the little person parties, that they that any of your kids are wearing costumes or even hats or masks? I mean, in a COVID era, I don't think we want to put anything on our kids, on the birthday kids, but if, excuse me, if the party host themselves has their own costume, anybody doing any of that? Because I think, people have talked to us for years about theme parties, and I'm always a little reluctant to do anything that's not pretty generic. I like pirates and princesses and things like that, but I'm always hesitant to do the latest, greatest movie or something like that. But what you can do is you can do a theme party with a host who's dressed up, and you can do pictures, and they could go from party to party and things like that. Now, I was just certain there were going to be, John, y'all did that for a while. Are you able to speak to that? John Dodd?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we just had some hats, big hats, and that made it easy. They just put on the different hats. Right now, of course, it'd be probably superheroes and unicorns.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. I think that's right. And you said you did it for a while, so this is interesting. You did it for a while, and how did it stop?
Well, I think because our hosts had changed, and I guess they just stopped putting the hats on, and which is my fault, for letting it die. And I haven't been training my hosts like I should. So, which is the point of talking to you.
Well, that's a great reason to be here, right? Speaking of that, we do have a really cool online party host training course that's awesome. I mean, it helps them have a virtual experience of giving a party, and it's the thing about online learning, in my opinion, is that it gives them a foundation, and so they have the information. I don't think it's a substitute for on-the-job training, but I think what happens is if they can kind of learn the basics, then they're even going to ask better questions. And then you can reinforce ideas, John, like the reason we wear party hats is it kind of helps put you in character. It's fun for the kids. It's, there's a reason behind why we want to do it that way. Because a lot of times when people don't understand, why am I having to wear this goofy hat, or do I really have to wear a super cape today? I think that it makes it harder for them to continue to follow through. And appreciate your ownership, right? About, well, I guess I probably just I'd let it get away from me. And all of us have done that. Things get watered down. And I used to see, when I was on site 1,000 years ago, I would see my party program. Y'all can't see me, but it would go up and down like a wave, and it would totally match the interest and the excitement of my party team. So when the party team was engaged and they were doing everything they could to create a great, memorable experience, the party program expanded. And the minute they got tired or complacent, you could see that wave kind of dip. It was crazy. Have you guys experienced that as well?
Mm-hmm.
Any other great ideas that we have to have? Oh, Chrissy, I appreciate this so much. So fear of holding parties holds me back right now. Day to day is still pretty overwhelming. So I get that, Chrissy. I mean, COVID's been, I mean, in my own personal life, a really tragic time. And, but I got to tell you, like I said, I'm here in Vegas. They ain't worried about it here. It is crazy. And so I don't know. And I think, Chrissy, I think it's I think it's 100% as a business owner. I think it's 100% your right, your initiative to do what you think is right for your business and for your community. And so I would really, my advice, and you haven't asked it, but my advice would be is just to start small, do that 5 or 6 person, put a package together for up to 5 or 6 people and sell those individually, So anywho, what other questions do anybody have, or does anybody else have a really good party pop idea? Because I don't want to. Thank you, Jay. I see that you posted the party host training course. We also have a party host training guide as well that's written. So kind of whichever way makes sense for you, whether it's written materials or online materials, we got you covered. So, oh, wonderful. Carissa Kaiser asked, what CRM platform does everybody use to book parties? I'll go on record to say it's an interesting way you stated that question. So Party Center Software is one of our partners. We think they have a great platform for party bookings. When you say CRM, a customer relationship manager, I'm not aware. Maybe Center Edge does a pretty good job with it, but I'm not aware of a platform where they've done a good job with having a CRM and a booking system that work. Well, that's not true. So there's a product called Triple Seat that kind of handles that. We use Zoho as our CRM, but we're obviously not booking parties and things online. So I don't think that that's a relevant thing unless you're just looking for the CRM. Anybody else? Oh, Courtney. Oh, you're here, Courtney. Yeah, speak up there, Courtney.
Hi, Beth.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. Hey. Thank you so much. Yep, I'm with Party Center Software, as Beth said. So if anybody has any questions about, adding online bookings, certainly I can help you with that. We would love to obviously have you folks partner with us, but the bottom line is we care about the industry here, and 110%, I'm a big advocate for you've got to get online booking on your website. You got to have a seamless look from the moment they hit that book now button, because their experience with you does not begin when they walk through your doors. It begins when they click on your website and they go ahead and they start booking that party. So you've got to have something in place that gives them the warm fuzzies from the moment they land on your website.
Absolutely. That is so perfectly stated too, Courtney, that they begin to make decisions about how easy or difficult you are to do business with right at your website. That's brilliant. Can I quote you on that in the future?
You got it,
Okay.
Beth.
Good. That's awesome. Any other questions or feedback? That was a great one. All right, Jay. So let's kind of show them what's next. And again, I don't know. I'm looking now. Can you hear me? JB. Uh-oh.
I was muted. Yes, I hear you.
You can hear me. Great. Fantastic. Okay. And so if you'll just click here on the register now. So the big thing that's next that I have to tell you about, and thank you for letting me market to you in this format. I try not to take too much advantage of that. This is about information. But if you'll click, Jay, they can see the whole sales growth conference. There's a picture that goes under register now. There you go. Thank you. So I have to tell you guys, I am so excited about this conference. I have never been this stoked. Those of you that know me know that I published a book, People Buy from People, How to Connect Personally in an Impersonal World. Oh my gosh, can you imagine that? I wrote that book. We released it in June of 19. And then in 20, we couldn't be personal with each other at all. So I think it's even more relevant. But out of that book, we developed a sales pro system. And this conference is going to be so much fun. We produced a workbook. I read a lot, actually listen to a lot of books. And I always think, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to implement that. And then life happens and I just move on. And so one of the things about creating this People Buy from People companion workbook is my goal was that if people really wanted to improve their sales career, improve their financial future, and even their freedom by being excellent at sales, that maybe this workbook could take the learning that I put forth in the book and really help make everything sticky. And so this conference will be the first time that we'll present this information in this way with these products. You get a workbook, you get a People Buy from People book. And I just think it's going to be so much fun to be together. It's July 28th and 29th. We have a beautiful hotel. It's kind of just eclectic. It's an A-loft in Euless, Texas, so it's real close to the airport. And there's all kinds of food and fun right in the parking lot. And I think you could come in easily on Tuesday night, and we finish early enough in the day on Thursday that you could go home. We'll feed you while you're at the conference. We'll network together on Wednesday night. Everybody's on their own for entertainment, but it's the networking piece is so great. Many of you on this call, some of you have been on this call, have been to one of our conferences, and we are just so pumped to be able to have an opportunity to get together. So personally invite you to that. You all, I believe we have a coupon for you all that you can get $50 off the conference. And so you want to check that out. You'll see that our next webinar will come up in September. We'll move in the last quarter to really focus on guest service. And then we have Think Tank Thursday every Thursday. And then finally, our virtual clinics, you can see the list there, how those will work out. Jay, if you'll show on the next slide. And oh, there you go. Those are the customer service things. And then the next slide, the special is $50 off of our conference and 2 weeks of express training. And so you see the codes that are right there. I can't hardly see that. So Jay, what would they do on this express training? How would that work?
Well, it's a special express training that's just for the webinar. And and I'll put the link in the chat box, and I'll also email it to everyone.
Perfect. Thank you, Jay. That's great. Thank you very much. And then if we look at the next deal, we'll thank our sponsors again. And did I miss any of our other sponsors? If I did, I'm sorry. Just jump in and start speaking. We'll listen to you. Thank you so much. And then appreciate you being here, and we'll look forward to seeing you maybe in July. Definitely take a look at the clinic the virtual clinic, if you want to go deeper into some of what we talked about today. We'll do that in a virtual way in early August. And then if you want to put the birthday conference on your schedule, it's like we just had the schedule up there, the 1st and 2nd, I believe, of September. So you all have a great Thursday. And